Good morning, everyone. Thanks for attending another session of Chief Architect Training. Today we're going to be covering stairs. I want to start out with a cape. This is a cape plan. Has a second floor. Even though it's a cape, it still has a second floor. For those of you that went through the basic training, we know that there's always two floors when there's a two-story or a cape. Same thing. So what I want to do is I'm going to start in the basement and work my way up. Right now this doesn't have a basement, so if I go to my floor tools and click on build foundation, I'm just going to use the default settings. 100-inch wall height will give me a 96-inch ceiling height, so that's good. I'm going to leave the block wall the same. Just say OK, and I want to derive the plan from the first floor. So there's my foundation. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to draw a short section of stairs so I can demonstrate the stair default dialog. So we'll do a camera view, and you can see it obviously didn't put a stair all the way to the top. I just drew I don't know, 7 or 8 treads, whatever it was. If I double click on this stair, it opens up the stair specification box. On this first tab we have several options. I can make it fit. I can lock certain things, like I can lock the tread depth or the number of treads. In our case, I want to lock the tread depth. Otherwise, it'll constantly change my tread depth from either 9 or 10 to, it'll change it to odd sizes. So I don't want that. I always want to stay 9 or 10 depending on what code you're building to. You can obviously change the width, and the length is going to be determined by the geometry of the stairs. That'll figure it out itself. So we don't need to worry about the length. I'm not going to make it reach the ceiling yet. I want to go over some of these other things and show you what they do. The next tab is the Style tab. We have, the first set is stringer at wall. I'm going to click on single stringer and show you what that does. Maybe we have a deck outside and it's a fancy stair and it just has a single stringer. I've seen that already before. That's what that does. Oh, I double clicked, but I clicked in the room, so I didn't get the stairs. You can see when I click the stairs down here, it highlights the stairs. So I can either double click again, or I can use my open door, my open object door. Under style, we'll uncheck that again, and closed stringer, I seriously doubt we'll ever use that. That basically, there's no stringer in the center, it just puts stringers on the side. Pretty much what we're going to be doing is a stringer at wall. The next one is open underneath. If I uncheck this, it provides a close-in material. Now this doesn't actually put walls in. If I rotate around here, you can see it just puts a material, and I'm not even sure what it is. But we can open this up and we can offset it. Maybe we want to offset it in a little bit, and you can see how it gives a little bit of overhang there. Now it's not gonna, you're not gonna go very far with it, but I don't know, maybe you have. I'm not quite sure where you would use this, but it's there if you need it. We'll check that again. The next one is open risers. This is pretty much probably the this is the configuration you're going to have if you were on the first floor. Okay, it's going to be closed. It's going to have carpet going down, or it's going to be bare. I'll show you how to turn off the carpet here in a minute. Let me go back and uncheck that open risers. Pretty much in the basement, this is probably the stair you're going to have. Now Chief is smart enough to know if I draw a set of stairs in the first floor. Let me go up to the first floor, click my stair tool, left click, hold and drag. It automatically closes it in for me. So depending on where you draw the stairs, you're going to get a different result, but you can always change it later if you need. Go back down to the basement. Okay, the next thing is your runner. Now, the runner basically is the carpet going up the stairs. Why they don't call it that, I guess runner is a term Chief decided to use for it, so that's what it is. It's a carpet going up. Now you can see it's grayed out. The reason it's grayed out is because I have open risers selected, so it's not gonna let you put stair or carpet on there. To put the carpet on, I need to uncheck the open risers, and now on the runner width I can have it show carpet. So there's my carpet. Now there's two settings for the carpet. One is the width, and generally you're going to take 4 inches off the stair width. So if you have 36-inch stairs, it'll be 32-inch. If I change this to like 16, I'll show you what it does. Basically, it makes that the runner, the carpet runner, going up 16 inches wide. Generally, there's a gap. If you wanted to take the stairs or the carpet all the way out to the edge of the stair, you can just type in the width of the stair, and then it'll go out to the width. Now you can see it didn't cover it there. That's because that's the tread overhang. If it was between the walls, the carpet would be wall to wall. So let me change that back. The other thing is runner tucked, runner not tucked. And what that is, if I look on the side view here and zoom in a little bit, you can see how the carpet does not wrap around the nosing. It just basically gets tucked back down or pulled straight down. Some people install the carpet on the stairs that way, some don't. If you want to see it the other way, you just click runner not tucked, and what it'll do is it'll wrap the carpet around the nose of the tread. Now you might say, well, that's not a big deal, but if you look at it in 3D, you can see the difference. So it depends how particular you want to be with it, whether you want to use that or not. Again, there's runner tucked, and there's runner not tucked. Okay. The next one, these here I'm not really going to go over. Just let those the way they are, the default. We can, however, large stringer base, I'll show you what that is. That more likely you're going to want to leave unchecked. That is this right here. It makes the stringer larger for whatever reason. Maybe some people build their stairs that way. I don't believe we do. So we can uncheck large stringer base, and you can see that just pretty much is the way the stringer is naturally built. And the last one is extend stringer top. And what that does, it cuts the stringer off where it meets the wall, which is how we build our stairs, so we're probably going to want to show it that way. Again, extend stringer. You can see how it extends it out. And unchecked, it'll square it off at the wall. The last thing, tread overhang and thickness. Here we can change the thickness of the tread. Maybe we have 1¼ pine or inch pine or something. Probably more likely you're going to leave that at 1.5 inch. Tread overhang you're more likely going to leave go, unless maybe you have some deck stairs, and let's say it has a single stringer, it doesn't have carpet. Maybe we want it to to overhang the stairs quite a bit. So there I just changed it to 6, and you can see how much the treads are overhanging. And more likely, if these are some deck stairs, they're not going to have railing on it. You know, you probably only have 2 or 3 treads going from one level to another. That's how you could show that there. Okay. Maybe you don't have a single tread. Maybe you still have the 3. That just extends the overhang of the tread. Okay, the next section is Newells and balusters. Now here is where you can specify the height of the railing. You can specify the height of the landing rail if you have L-shaped stairs. You can use your default balusters and Newells. Or you can actually come in here to the library and you can select If we go to our architectural section, millwork, we go to balusters, newels, and posts. And I was under balusters, so we'll use this one here. And you can leave. You don't have to set these. You can leave these alone. What's going to happen is you'll have square posts and you'll have square rails and you'll have square balusters, which is fine. I mean, it depends how detailed you want to get with it. And again, we're not seeing them because I have them turned off. If I turn them back on, you can see it changed the style of the newel or the baluster. Okay, so there we can. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but we can search a library for a newel type, and we can also search the library for a handrail type. I'm going to leave them all the square and all default for this training session, just so I'd save a little time searching the library, hunting for stuff. The last thing on this page that we really need to worry about is railing on wall, at wall, those two things right there. And I'm going to, I'll demonstrate what the difference with those are when we actually draw the stairs from the first floor to the second floor. The last thing is the next tab is line style. We can change the layer that's on. We can change the color that it shows in floor plan view. Maybe we want to show it as hidden. Maybe the stairs are on site. We can show them as hidden line. Fill style, don't really need to worry about that. And materials, here we can change the individual materials of the stair itself. As for instance, the carpet runner says carpet B4. Maybe I want to use one of Ritz-Craft's carpets. I can go to library material. I'm going to close down the chief part of it. I'll go to my library, Ritz-Craft libraries. I go to flooring, PA options, carpet, and I'll just pick one. Say OK. And I actually have to show the carpet on there. I took it off. So there it changed my carpet color. I can change the tread. I can change the tread material. I can change the handrail material. I can change the ballast material. Any material I want to change, I can change here on the stair. Okay. Any questions to this point about the default or the stair dialog box? Okay, let's go up to the first floor and actually draw some stairs. Well, we can stay on the basement. Let's say we have the marriage wall here, and maybe we have some stairs that run perpendicular or parallel to the marriage wall. I want to size it. Now you can see, if I say 36, that's 36 from this drywall to this drywall. Well, I don't want that. So to solve that, if I go to my default settings, under dimensions, under temporary dimensions, click edit. Here it says locate wall when selected. I want wall surface. I don't want wall dimension layer. And instead of primary wall side, I want to check both sides. So I want wall surface and both wall sides. Say OK, done. Now when I select this wall, it gives me a temporary dimension from drywall to drywall. So now I can say 36, and I know I have a 36-inch opening. And for those of you who still use, or in the states that use the 8 1/4, 9 stair rule, we need a minimum opening of 8'8" for headroom clearance. Now we could have a closet here, and it wouldn't be an angled wall. We could have a closet here, but this would have to be a raised floor. Okay, so we still need 8'8". For those of you who in states who follow the 2009 IRC or newer and your state doesn't have a supplement for it to change it, the minimum stair is 7 3/4 high by 10-inch tread. So in that case, you would need a 9-foot 10-inch stair opening. So I'd have to change that to 9'10" if I was doing the 7 3/4 10 tread. Okay, but I'm not, so I'm going to change that back to 8'8". Now, if I want stairs to go from the basement to the first floor, I can't be on the first floor to draw them. I need to be on the basement, because anytime you draw stairs, if I click my stair tool, if I left click, hold, and drag, whichever way I drag, that's the way the stairs are going to go up. They'll never go down unless you hit Control on your mouse key, which you always want to draw your stairs up. 99.9% of the time, you always want to draw them up. So I'm just going to draw them up here, and I have no idea of knowing where it is on the first floor. So what I can do is, first I want to get my stair geometry right. Now, right now, I want to make sure my treads are locked, and it's telling me I have 11 risers, and my riser height is 6 3/4. Let me change that back to 5. Why is that saying 6 3/4? Well, it should change. That should the riser height there should be higher than that. What's happening is it's telling me it does not reach. Right here it says stair does not reach the next level. So what we need to do is, if we don't know for sure how many treads a stair needs, we just need to keep adding treads until it says it does reach. Okay, you can see it still says it does not reach. So if I change it to 11, hit tab, there it says it reaches the next level. Now what I need to do is look at my riser height, and it says 8 7/8. Well, I know that my max is 8 1/4. Okay, for those of you who are in 2006 or older, or your state provides a supplement to the IRC rule, the max height is 8 1/4, and the max tread is, or the minimum tread is 9. So we need to get this number under 8 1/4. So I need to keep adding treads. There. Now it says staircase reaches next level. My riser height is under 8 1/4. So I know these are the stairs that I'm going to use. Now this will work for any house. This will work for basement stairs. This will work for ranch stairs. This will work for, or not ranch. This will work for cape stairs. This will work for 2-story with the L shape. As long as you're under that 8 1/4, that's pretty much, you're going to match the stair that we're using here at Ritz-Craft. So now we have the geometry right. I know I want 36-inch wide. I have my 9-inch. I have them locked. I have my treads, and it's under 8 3/16. So I'm good to go. Now I need to position them. Well, I can't see the first floor unless I turn on my reference display. If I turn that on, now it shows me all the walls on the first floor. You can see if I go up, all I have is a marriage wall. I have my basement opening, and I also have, you can also see the exterior walls, which are the lines in red. To move this into position, normally if I was on the first floor, I could just move it and it would bump against the wall. Well, since the wall isn't actually in the basement, it's not going to let me bump to it. So what I need to do is use once I have my stair selected, down here on the edit bar, I can use my point-to-point move tool. Click on either the upper right or the upper left corner, doesn't really matter which, and then immediately, without clicking anywhere else, click the corresponding upper right or upper left corner on my basement entry. Now, if I wanted the stairs going up this way, obviously I would have drew them the other way, or I can also rotate them around. But I'm just going to let them there for now. I'm going to turn off my reference display. I'm going to give us a 3D view. So there's our stairs going up. All I need to do now is cut a hole in the floor. The best way to do that, or the easiest way I should say, is to go up to the first floor, and inside this room, double click. It'll open up the room specification. In here, under the General tab, under Room Type, we want to check Opened Below. Say OK, and there's it showing our basement stairs going down. Now obviously we would have a door right here. And I'm going to probably swing the other way. We can also center it in the opening. And let's say we don't want to see that open to below. If we double click in the room again, open up the room specification box, under room name or under room type, under room showroom label, we want to uncheck that radio button. So there all we see is the stairs going down. We switch our camera view again. There's our stairs going up. The hole's cut in the floor. It automatically cut it in for us because we said open to below. We can see our door, and there's our basement stairs. Any questions so far? Okay. I want to draw a standard set of stairs going up to a cape. Now this is, again, this will be the same whether it's a cape or a two-story. So this one I'll have going straight up, and maybe there's a wall here. I'll double click the stairs to open them up. Go ahead and get my geometry right again. Make sure my tread lock is depth, 9-inch tread. Here I drew 11 treads, and it says at 8 7/8. I know I need to add a tread until I get under 8 1/4. And there we go. Now this will work as long as you start with the Ritz-Craft template that I provide. And the reason I say that is if you start with a generic template, your ceiling height may not be right, and your floor thicknesses may not be right. So this is only going to work to a Ritz-Craft standard stair if you use the Ritz-Craft template, or if you do it yourself and you get all the ceiling heights and the floor thickness correct. And it's really important if I open up, I'm going to have to save this quick. Can't have two templates open at once, so I had to save that. I want to open up a two-story template to show you what I'm talking about. If I open up this two-story, now if Chief were to draw this and you didn't use a template, this floor thickness would not be the 17 inches thick that it is for us, because we obviously have a 2x6 ceiling, we have a 2x10 floor, and we have a space in between. Chief would treat this as one. If you drew it out of the box, it would just have a floor ceiling combined together. It would not be that thick. So again, having said that, as long as you start with the template, when you go to figure your stairs, it's going to give you the accurate amount of treads. And that's important because if you're drawing a plan, if you're drawing something for us to build from scratch, and you're putting a set of stairs in and you're putting one less tread than it really needs, it could affect your floor plan. So that's the reason I say that. So what we want to do here is we'll just grab the stairs, bump it against this wall. I did get the geometry right. Yes, okay, I got the geometry right. And we'll bump it against the marriage wall. And I can put this wall in before or after. It doesn't really matter. We'll make it, I'll select this wall, grab the temporary dimension, make it 36. I'm going to hit tab so I get this wall. And the reason I put this wall in, this will give me room definition for my basement entry, and it also gives me a little bit more accurate area if I want to figure the area of a foyer. If I don't have that wall, and it's going to figure this whole area here also. If I drew these walls first and my stair was outside of the wall, outside of the stairwell, and I wanted to position it in there, if I try to position it, then more likely it's going to want to stop at the wall there. So if I hold Control down, now when I move it around, it doesn't matter if there's a wall there or not. It'll let me move it wherever I want. So what I would do here is just hold Control, release the mouse. Now grab it and bump it against this wall and bump it against the marriage wall. Okay, so now I have the start of a stair going up to a cape. And I'm going to close some of these windows down. So we're halfway there. I have my stairs, but I need my rake wall, I need my opening, and a couple other little things. To get this rake wall and to have the stairs look the way we actually build them, there's no way, cheap doesn't allow you to do that. You have to do some things manually, and that is drawing the knee wall. Now it's not real difficult. What I want to do is grab my orthographic view tool, select my back clip cross section camera, and I want to left click, hold and drag so that I'm outside of the wall and then just inside the stair area. That's going to give me one little sliver of the house from where I start to where I end my camera selection. I now want to go to my primitive tools, select the Polyline solid, and I want to just draw a rectangle, but I want to make sure I draw it on the wall and not anywhere else. I can then double click on it. It'll open up the specification box, and I want to say the thickness is 4.5. Okay, I'll swap views, go back to the floor plan, and you can see there it put a polyline on that wall. But I want it to continue here, so I'm going to select it, and I got my camera, so I'll hit tab. Now there's my polyline. Now I can use my point to point. I'll select this upper left point and then select this lower left point on the wall. So now it positioned it for me. I'll double click on my cross section camera to go back to section view. Pick the Polyline solid, pull it down so it snaps to the bottom of the floor, and then I want to drag it up, and I may have to turn off my snaps here, or I can hold Control, and if I hit Control it won't snap to anything. And I'm just going to eyeball it up to the bottom of the rail there, and then drag it up and eyeball it up to the bottom of the rail there. Again, I'm going to have to turn my snaps off. If you turn your snaps off, this works a little easier, because it won't, or sorry, your grid snaps. See, now it doesn't want to snap to anything. It'll let me take it to where I want. And what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get the angle of the rake wall, because that's going to match the angle of the stairs. And it doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's close. So I'll turn my snaps and my grid snaps back on. No, I didn't want to do that. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to pull it down so that it's below the treads. And I'm going to drag it out. I have to be a little higher. I want to drag it out so that it's just past the edge of the second nose, or the nose of the second tread there. Okay, and again, we're not trying to get anything perfect. Now we're just going to drag it up so that it covers the treads. Okay, so basically, there's our rake wall. Now I'll pick my eyedropper, my material eyedropper. I'll pick up the drywall material, because that's what I want it to be. I want it to be drywall. And I want to make sure I uncheck the roller. If I leave that roller selected, I want to have component selected. But if I leave this roller selected, I'll show you what it does. It's basically going to give me white concrete. See, it picked up the drywall and it mated the materials together. So when I do that, I can do it in 3D here view also. Pick up my drywall again. If I turn my roller off, select it, now it actually made it the drywall material. So there's my rake wall. All I need now is molding on the bottom, baseboard molding, and again, you don't have to go through this particular step if you don't want. It's entirely up to you. But you may be showing a plan and in front of a customer, and they may see that, and they may say, well, why is there no molding there? So I'm going to show you how to do it. We want to use our CAD tools. We want to use the line tool. And if you don't have this particular toolbar up, you can go to CAD Lines. And you can also, you see here that it says W, that's the keyboard shortcut. So for those of you who like to use the keyboard, you can just type in W on the keyboard also. I'm going to make sure my snaps are on. I'm going to snap to this upper left edge of the Polyline solid and just drag it down so that it comes down to the end here. I'm going to click it and open it. Oh, sorry. I want to first, before I open it, I need to convert this line to a polyline. So I'll convert it, and it's asking me what do I want to convert it to. Well, I want it to be a molding polyline, so I'll say OK. And the molding polyline specification comes up. I want to go to my molding tab, add new. I'll go to the Chief Architect Library under Architectural, under Molding, Base Molding, and I have this one here set as the default molding for the floor, so we'll use that one. And I know I have it, it's 3 1/4, so I need to change that to 3 1/4, and it's 3 3/8 thick. Say OK. Now if we do a 3D view, excuse me, there is our molding, and you can see that it doesn't look like it's it looks like it's a little lower than it. Well, that's because X3 changed the way they handle floor surfaces. And if I double click in this room and open it up, under the structure tab, it's telling me the floor finish is 5/8 thick. So if I want that molding to line up, I have to raise it the height of, sometimes you can, I have to raise it the height of the flooring. So there I clicked and I got my molding polyline. I know that because down here on the bottom left it says molding polyline. I can open it up, and under offset I can raise it up 5/8. And there they line up. So if you get that situation, which you will, because no matter what, even if it's vinyl flooring, it still has thickness. So to get it to line up, that's what you need to do. You just need to find out, open up the room, whatever room you're in, find out how thick the floor finish is, and then you can raise your molding polyline accordingly. Now, one thing I do want to show you, if you draw this, and this little check box here under the moldings tab, if that's unchecked or checked, it could be either way. It depends on how you draw your line. If we look at it now, my molding is gone. It's there, but I'm seeing the back side of it. If that's the case, we can just select it, open it up, and check it either way, either check it or uncheck it, depending on your situation, and then it flips it to the other side. Okay, so there's our rake wall with the molding on the bottom. Now we can take our stair, and if I go up to the second floor, I still don't have any opening. I could draw these walls manually, just like I did on the first floor, and select a room and say open to below, and it would give me the same result. Or I can select the stair, and down here on the bottom I can say auto stairwell and click that. Now when we go to the second floor, you can see it automatically put in our railing. It cut a hole in the floor ceiling. It put our railing going up all the way. And it also put a doorway here, which you don't see it because anytime you put a doorway in railing, it just puts an opening in. That's how you put an opening in a rail. So that's that step. That's fairly simple. What I like to do is, again, it says stairwell. If I double click in this under the general tab, I can change that. I can name it whatever I want, but I usually just say don't show the room label, and then I still see my stairs going down. Okay. So the last thing we need to do, or next to last thing, I can close this cross section down. I'm done with this. We need to get our little quarter round tread if we want, if we need it, and we also want to center the rail over this wall. If I grab these stairs and I try to, I'm going to hold control down and I'm going to force them. I'm going to force the stairs over the wall. You can see what it does. It put the stair over the rake wall, the custom Polyline solid rake wall that I drew, but it also cut my wall off. So obviously we don't want that. So I'm going to undo that. But what I will do is select a stair and open it up. On this very first general tab, the very last thing, there's a thing called winders. If I check that and now grab my stair, hold control down and just drag it out so that it's not quite halfway over the wall. Look at our stairs, and what happens is it will allow the stair to stretch over that wall. See that? Then the last thing we need to do is, more than likely we're not going to have that little jogged rail there. So if I double click on the stair, open it up, and go to the Newells, here's where I said I'd explain the difference between this. If I say railing on right, it will, or let me do the left. If I say railing on left and uncheck it, it's going to get rid of all the railing on the left, period. If I say railing at wall, it's just going to get rid of the railing where it meets the wall. Now you can see the stair jumped on me, so you should really do all this before you should select, I guess what I'm saying is you should select all this before you do your winder stair, because what's going to happen is it jumps around on you. But if I uncheck just that wall and then I'm going to uncheck railing on the right, we'll just move it back into position. This is why I say you should select it before you do this, because it can be a real pain after the fact. But there you can see it got rid of the railing completely on the right, and it only got rid of the railing on the left where there was a wall. So that's the difference between the two, and that's how you draw a Ritz-Craft built stair. Last thing, we want a quarter round on the bottom. Select a stair. There's also a flare, which we don't do flare stairs. But under starter tread, you can see we had, pick that again so the dimensions run away. We have these two little round icons. Just pull it out a little bit. Might have to drag it back some, and there's our quarter round at the bottom. Okay, so any questions on how to draw the rake wall? Okay, moving on. That's how we draw closed stairs. Let's say we wanted open stairs. Well, the process is a lot easier because you don't have to draw a rake wall. So I'm just going to draw my stairs. Going to double click, open them up, get my geometry right, make sure my tread's locked, 9-inch tread, and I know because I just did 2 of them that I need 12. Say OK. And this one, since it's against the exterior wall, we'll make the width 40-inch so we have room for our basement stairs, so we still maintain our 36-inch basement stairs. Bump it against the side, bump it against the marriage wall, and now I'll put my walls in, and I want this to be 40 because that's the thickness of my stairs. And now this wall here, I'm getting the stair, so I'll hit tab. This wall here, as long as this wall is underneath the second tread, I'm going to put it there to purposely show you. That stair needs to be underneath the second tread or greater, or it will not cut it off. I select tab, get the wall, drag it back to make sure it's under the second tread. Now when we look, it cut off the wall there, which is what we want. Okay, now we want these to be open to above though, which means we don't want to see this wall. The stair is basically going to be on top of that wall. So we can do like we did over here, only instead of using a winder, I'm just going to grab this stair, grab the edge of it, and I'm going to drag it to the main layer and leave the drywall edge exposed. So basically I added 4 inches to it because that's a 4.5-inch wall, which means it's 3.5-inch framing and 1/2-inch drywall on both sides. Now if we look, there's our stairs going up, and I know they're wider than the 40, but that's okay because it's going to be over top of the wall. We still have a 40-inch opening though. From here, we'll just click the stairs. We'll say auto stairwell. Now when we look, there's our stairs going up, the holes cut in the floor. We can probably get rid of the railing on the right since we only need 1 set of rails, and again we should have done that before we did the auto stairwell because again it likes to jump on you. So when it does that, it's not something you're doing wrong, it's just one of those little quirks with any program. And sometimes if you can't get it to bump and bump, you can always use the point-to-point move. I'll pick that point and that point. So now, if we go up 1 floor, and I have to rotate my camera around so I get back inside the house, there is our open to above with our railing. Now, I'm sorry, it's not open to above yet. All I need to do now is go to my second floor, grab this wall and drag it to the left, and it could be however far it needs to be. Doesn't, I'm just dragging it. There is our open to above. Pretty simple, huh? Okay. Now, if this was a 2-story, this was a 2-story, and maybe this was a bedroom wall, it wasn't a railing. We don't have to draw that wall manually. We can just select this wall, open it up, and uncheck railing and no locate. And under wall types, make sure we select if it's a 4-inch wall or a 6-inch wall, whatever it is. Select the wall type, and that will give us our, maybe it's a bedroom, bathroom wall, whatever the case may be. We don't have to redraw. We don't have to manually draw the wall. We just change the wall type. So there's our open to below with our railing here, and we changed that wall to a normal wall. And vice versa. If this was a wall, we could change it back to a railing. Okay, any questions on the open to above? That's fairly straightforward. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is L-shaped stairs. All the processes for the rake wall, open to above, they're all the same. The only difference is you have to connect the 2 stairs together. For this purpose, I'm going to go to my two-story that I opened up. This is a 2-story, yes. Actually, it has 3 stories because it's a 2-story 12-12 cape, so it's going to have 3 stories. Let's say we have our L-shaped stairs. Now the only thing you're going to need to know here is you're going to need to know how many treads are on each riser. And I guess the easiest way to tell that is normally on our literature or our floor plans, you can always see how many treads there are on the bottom. So you can use that as a reference, and that'll give you the number of treads on the bottom. Then you can just, with the math, figure out how many treads you need for the top set of stairs. So to figure out how many treads we need, we almost have to do a set of straight stairs, just as an example. So I'm going to draw myself a set of straight stairs. Now again, this is a 2-story. I'm going to double click, and I can see here it does not reach. Now this riser head says 6 3/4. Why it says that I'm not sure, but I know it does not reach the next level. So I know I need to keep adding treads. So I'm going to say 12, and obviously that's probably still not going to be enough. Now it says it reaches, but my riser height's too high. So I'll change it to 13. Now it's my riser height's 8 and 8, so I know I'm good. Again, unless I'm using the 2009 IRC, which is 7 3/4. Then you would just keep adding treads till you got under that, obviously. So I know now that I need 13 treads. Okay? So let's say this particular set of stairs, it has 6 treads on the bottom, which by chance I just happen to have 6 treads there. We also need to count the landing as a tread. So that in essence is 7. So now I know I need 6 over here. So if I change this to 6, I'll change it to 6 right away. And let me move this whole section out of the way, and I'll draw myself some walls in here first. And I'm not really concerned with locations yet. I know I'm going to want 36 if that's the case, or maybe they're 40, whatever it is. And you can see I'm not actually 36. See, I'm picking the wall and the dimensions going to the outside. That's something I need to fix in the templates, and it'll definitely be fixed for the next installment. But I need to make sure that both walls are select. Wall surface and both wall sides. Now we'll say 36 and 36. Now I can move the stairs into position. If I click my point to point and I move it to the edge of the corner of the wall there, I use my point to point for this one, and I should be able to snap it right in there. There. Now I need a way to join these two sections together, because right now they're two independent sections, and when I say that, I'm just going to copy them over here and I'll show you what I mean. They are two independent set of stairs. What I need to do is connect them together, and to do that, all we need to do is select the stair tool, and we don't select any command or anything. Just pick right in between the two, and there it automatically put a landing in and joined them together. Okay? Fairly simple, fairly straightforward, and the reason I did it out here is just to show you, because when I do it in here, you're not going to be able to see it, obviously, because there's walls in the way. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that set of stairs. Obviously you can't see it because there's walls there. Now we can bump our wall back into position. And if we were going to do a rake wall, we would drag this back and we would do the same, follow the same procedure I did for the first set of stairs that I showed you. Okay? If obviously we're going to want to open it up to the second floor, so we can select our stair, we can do the auto stairwell, come up to the second floor, and again, if these were bedrooms over here, all we need to do is open this up, uncheck the railing, uncheck no locate. If you have no locate selected, that particular item there, if you wanted to dimension that room, it would not dimension it for you because it's saying no locate. That's what that no locate means. And under wall type, we'll just say interior 4. And maybe this was a bedroom here. Maybe this is a closet. We can after we do our stairwell, we can change all these walls into regular walls if we don't want them to be railing. If it happens to be railing, we'll just leave them railing. And again, I like to double click. This is actually a room. Even though there's no floor, Chief Architect still considers it a room. Everything in Chief is considered a room in one way or another. So if we double click in here, we're going to get the room, and we can uncheck show label. Then all we see is our stair treads with our down arrow, which is more than likely what we're going to want to see. So if we go up to our second floor, well, actually that's, yeah, it's the second floor. There's our wall with our railing. Okay? Any questions on any of this so far? Okay, the last thing I want to show you is, let's say we have a deck. And what I need to do first, well, I'll put a deck on and I'll show you. Just going to throw a deck off the back here. And if we look at this in 3D, there's our deck. There's a little set of tools here under Stairs called Click Stairs. If I pick that and select, it will give me a set of stairs down to the terrain. Now obviously there's no terrain here, so what it did is it just put a set of stairs down to the 0 layer of the house, which is the first floor. So that's not what I want. What I need to do is, first, I can put the deck on first or after the terrain, doesn't really matter when I put the deck on. What I need to make sure I do is create a terrain. So under the terrain, just say create terrain perimeter. Now if we look, there's our terrain, but it's on the same level as the house, which more than likely your house is going to stick up above the terrain more than what this is. What I like to do, a good rule of thumb, especially if you're building a garage, if you leave all the defaults the way they're set and set this at 24, when you put a garage on and you put your garage doors and stuff in, it will line up right real nice with your terrain. So if you happen to have a house that's going to be out farther than the 24, then you're going to have to change your settings on your garage floor heights and whatnot. So if you just want to show the customer what it's going to look like, and it doesn't have to be exactly 20 inches or 18 inches or whatever the case may be, just use 24. Now you can see I'm typing in a positive number. For those of you that did the training class or the train classes with me, you know that anytime you dealing with terrain, a positive number actually goes down. If I were to put a negative number in here, which you would think I want to lower the terrain 24, so you'd think minus, well, if you put in minus, it's gonna raise it. So for whatever reason, Chief decided to do that. That's what they came up with. So I need to put a positive number, and that'll lower the terrain 24 inches. Okay, now you gotta get rid of that opening. When I select my stair tool, select my click stair, and I go and click anywhere, it doesn't matter, it's going to put a set of stairs from the deck automatically for me down to the terrain. Now I can open this up. Oops. I can open the stairs up. I can add railing, because right now it doesn't have any. I can change the width. Maybe I want 60-inch, whatever. I can modify it after the fact, and it will maintain the opening. It'll connect the railings together. So this is the 0.1% of the time where the chief's going to draw the stairs going down. If, let's say, we had a walkout basement and the terrain was down at the level of the foundation, well, our deck framing automatically adjusted, but our stairs did not. So all we would need to do is, obviously I would delete these, pick my stair tool again, select my click stair, and it's going to put me a set of stairs from the deck down to the level of the terrain. So real simple, real easy. Chief has come a long way in the easiness, or the ease of use of stairs. I shouldn't say easiness, but the ease of use. They used to be a real bugger to deal with, but now I guess they've come a long way. That's about all I have, unless anybody has any questions. Okay, well, I'd like to thank everybody for attending again, once again, and glad the warm weather's still here. And apparently I've been misinformed. If anybody does want a CD of this, please email Sean Reedy, and he will send you a copy out if you want a copy of this training session. I thought we were sending them out automatically, but I'm being told that he just sends them out to the people that request them. So if you do want a copy, just email Sean or myself, and I'll make sure he gets the message to send it. Other than that, everybody have a good day. And we'll see you next month.